Welcome in a special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown. We are here in front of the Student Union on a beautiful Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bakersfield.com, wherever you are getting the program. This is Roadrunner Rundown, the official program of CESUB Athletics. We are on campus this week because this is a jam-packed week once again of Roadrunner action, and we're going to talk about all that on the show today. We have head men's basketball coach Rod Barnes joining us coming up. We have athletics director Jeff Konya joining us. We've also got senior point guard Issiah Grayson joining us on the program because senior night is Saturday night at Rabobank Arena, and also we're going to be talking baseball. We got a 3-game series starting with UC Riverside on Friday, and former players turned coaches Richie Escalera and Brandon Boren will join us on the program as well. So a huge show for a huge week, as I've been talking about. And, of course, there is one person that is behind all the happenings and all the goings-ons when it comes to athletics and a busy week, and that person is our friend Brynn Conapitski, our marketing coordinator, and she joins us on set as our first on-location guest. Brynn, welcome back to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I know you are. It has been a marathon, but it's been that part of the marathon where you run really fast. So either that's the beginning or the end of the marathon here in the last couple weeks for you and your staff. But here we are with a great week coming up where we've got men's basketball starting Thursday, baseball Friday, basketball and baseball Saturday, baseball Sunday, and you got some cool things happening for the folks and the fans. Why don't you talk about those a little bit, starting with men's basketball on Thursday night?
Yeah, awesome. So on Thursday, we're going to be recognizing our former men's head soccer coach, Simon, in a pregame ceremony in honor of him being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Bob Elias Hall of Fame the same night, so we'll have him have him pregame, right?
Yeah, it's good to tie that all in together. And then at halftime, we'll have a couple youth teams coming out to do a halftime scrimmage. And that pretty much sums up Thursday.
Okay. Rabobank Arena, 7 o'clock, against UT Pan Am.
Yep, and then on Friday we'll be doing a little bit of trivia in-game against UC Riverside in our baseball series opener, and that's at 6 p.m.
6 o'clock, yep, on Friday.
And then on Saturday we're bringing back our trading cards with player pack number 3 featuring a few of our select CSUB players, and that's for the first 100 fans.
Awesome, and that'll be Saturday at baseball, and then Saturday night is the big one at Rabobank Arena.
Saturday's a huge game. We not only do we have senior night, but we also have homecoming.
Right.
At halftime, we'll be recognizing all of our homecoming candidates, and it will be in a special presentation. Awesome,
man. We've got New Mexico State first place in the WAC right now. They're coming in. We've got homecoming. We've got homecoming voting, as a matter of fact, for students if that catch the program, happening all week here at the Student Union, right? Am I right? Today and tomorrow. So Tuesday and Wednesday here at the Student Union. So make sure you come out and vote for the homecoming king and queen as well for this Saturday's game. And then senior night, we've got 6 seniors. I mean, 6 is the big. We got 6 seniors that we're going to be honoring pregame. And the good news is some of them actually already have received their degrees and they're working on postgraduate work. And some of them are going to have them very shortly. So all going to be graduates, which is great as well. And we'll honor those guys. One of them will come up on the show a little bit later, Issiah Grayson. And then Sunday at baseball.
Dollar Dogs.
Dollar Dogs.
It's been a huge promotion all season long, and we continue to do it every Sunday.
And so Saturday baseball, we got the baseball trading cards, which Brynn did a fantastic job on. It's like a little different than any baseball card you've seen, and it's great. We go 3 players at a time. Got to be all Saturdays, collect the whole set, and then dollar hot dogs on Sunday. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with dollar hot dogs.
You can't go wrong with that. So all this, so a busy week. We'll start on Thursday with men's basketball at Rabobank Arena. Brynn, thank you so much for putting all this together and joining us on the show once again.
This is awesome. Awesome setting. It's good to be here.
We'll stick around and watch a little bit more of the show. We've
Absolutely.
got let's bring in our athletics director Jeff Konya now. If you can enter stage whatever. Anyway, let's come around this way. You know, he was worried about being late because he had important AD things to do. So I had to sell some of his time off as he joins us now on the program. Hi. Welcome in.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Nice to be here.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
We were talking to Brynn about what is a very, very busy week, starting with Thursday men's basketball. And here we are. I want to talk to you about really the conference aspect of it all with basketball. We are 2 final home games and then 1 on the road, and then the Western Athletic Conference Tournament. It seems like the buzz and the excitement and the build-up for the conference tournament, teams playing better, women are playing very well, men are starting to play better. It's starting to grow a little bit, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's wide open on the men's side, I think. I think if you ask Coach, it's going to be who's playing the best basketball for those 3 days is going to come out the winner of the Western Athletic Conference. And the women are in a great position. They're sitting in second place right now. And, they've had a fantastic run here. They've beaten the only loss Idaho has is on their home court to Bakersfield. Yeah. So we can pretty much play with anybody there. So it's just going to be exciting. I know there's a lot of student interest going to Vegas. I think we sold out the student bus really awesome. Quickly. And, we have to find more hotel rooms, more tickets. I mean, those are good problems to have when you're an athletic director in an athletic department. It's a great first year experience for most of our students. Obviously, we haven't been in a conference for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think it's really come together really nicely around basketball being the marquee sport in the Western Athletic Conference.
And starting real quick on the women's side, a women's note. This came out just before we went on air today. Tiana Outland, not only was she named Western Athletic Conference Player of the Week for like the 10th time.
Fourth, actually, but that's all right. Who's counting?
No, but check this out. She was named United States Basketball Writers Association National Player of the Week. This just came out a couple of minutes ago.
Wow,
which
is
fantastic. Huge. Which is huge. Yeah, I mean, I want to say that's the first time that's happened. I know that's the first time it's happened at the Division I level for women's basketball at CSUB. So, Tiana Outland, National Player of the Week for the United States Basketball Writers Association is phenomenal. So, they're having a nice run right now in second place. They'll be on the road for 2, back at home for 1 next week. And then men's basketball last weekend, playing at Kansas City, at Chicago State. We'll talk to Coach Barnes a little bit later, but that's a tough road trip. I mean, it was split, winning in Kansas City, losing in Chicago. There's been teams in the conference, including some teams in first place, that have had trouble just splitting that trip. I mean, that's a tough Midwest swing. So, Kansas City then beats Utah Valley on Saturday night at their place. So it really has been kind of crazy how open that side of the bracket has been.
That's a tough trip. I know New Mexico State lost both of those, and those are their 2 losses on the year. Was that at Chicago State, at Kansas City swing. So, it's just testament to anybody can beat anybody, and what you think about this league changes after another round of play.
Yeah. And a lot of teams play very well at home, not so well on the road. That's been the case. I think the Runners have been the opposite. They played pretty well on the road and sometimes struggled at home, which could, on a neutral court, that could mean all kinds of good things. So it's going to be wide open, no doubt, when we get to Las Vegas. So we still have some all-session passes available. People can get those by calling 654-BLUE. There's also details online at GoRunners.com. Saturday night for basketball, it is senior night. And as an athletic director, you have to be pretty pumped about this. Not only are we saying, goodbye to 6 seniors, we've got 6 kids, and a couple of them already have their degrees, but they're all going to have their degrees or already have their degrees. Men's basketball a few years ago, when Coach Barnes came in, inherited a program that was kind of in a mess in that aspect of graduation. Now he's going to end up being something like 14 for 14, and with all the seniors that he's coached, with 6 on Saturday. I mean, that's incredible.
Right. Well, I mean, I can't really talk about what happened before my arrival. I think, through the transition, there were some issues in terms of how many academic advisors were on staff and just what the whole Division I experience meant. So, I'd hate to gloss over, that experience, but certainly since my arrival and hiring Coach, we have had an emphasis and we've had some support on campus to be able to do one of our primary things, which is graduate students. These students happen to be student athletes and happen to be playing men's basketball. But if you look at our recent trends in the last 3 years of graduating every senior that's touched our program, that is atypical for Division I men's basketball on a national scale. And certainly as an athletic director, it's something that we should be very, very proud. I mean, we can certainly walk into any living room with any prospect and tell their parents that education is very important to us, and we are in the business of graduating students and giving them that life-changing thing called a degree, which opens doors in terms of their future employment. And it's something that we don't have to kind of snicker in the back corners about. It's something that is valid, it's true, you can prove it, you look at the statistics, and it's something that we have as one of our touchstone principles in our athletic department.
Well, it's one thing, though. I mean, it's one thing just to say we're focusing on it, but it's another thing to do kind of what you have done when it comes to getting the support needed to do that. The Kegley Center for Success. You also have bringing in academic counselors and advisors, bringing in an associate athletics director for academics, and being able to also send some of those people on the road with the teams, help them with studies, help them with tests. I mean, it's different to say we want to graduate, but it's also different to say to go out and actually get the support needed.
Well, it starts with our leadership. I mean, on this campus, there's a lot of people moving and rowing in the same direction, if you will, on this important point. So you have, Dr. Lefevre, our FAR, Dr. Mitchell, our president, Dr. Wallace, our VP, Saray Coley, our provost, all understand the role that athletics plays on the campus. But on the flip side, we understand what graduating and the academic mission of a university means to our student athletes. And so it's a collaborative piece among a lot of moving parts. But so far, so good in terms of what we've been able to do with the APR, what we've been able to do with graduation. We're going to report 1,000 APR in men's basketball. We're going to report 1,000 APR in women's volleyball. These are unheard of statistics that are going to put us in the top of the country. So when Tiana Outland is the National Player of the Week, we're going to be the national athletic team in terms of academic performance coming out in about 3 or 4 months. So this is all good stuff.
Do you, when you report 1,000 score, do you make that call yourself? Instead of submitting it online, do you actually call the NCAA and say, yeah, 1,000, got that? 1,000, like you're putting in a stock order or something, just to say, because it's 1,000. That's pretty good.
It is. You can't do any better, right?
Any better.
So no, we didn't call it in. It's just reported with everything else. But we're proud of it.
Definitely. I know you've been busy lately with some coaching searches. I mean, not any specifics, but how have just been the quality of candidates, people's interest in the jobs, for women's soccer and also volleyball?
Well, the interest has been fantastic. We're in a different place than we were, last time we went through these searches in 2011. And, we were at that point a fledgling D1 independent. We had a lot of issues internally and externally in our athletic department. And, we've been able to kind of right the ship, so to speak, doing a lot of things, a lot of hard work from folks like yourself on the department and on this campus. And, so our applicant pool reflects that. It reflects some of the recent successes we've had in the teams. It reflects the fact that we don't have any academic issues in those programs. It's a desirable job. We've made some improvements in terms of the facilities. And so, again, our applicant pool is pretty strong compared to what we were looking at back in 2011. I've gotten emails from people that I crossed paths with years ago that knew people that are applying for the job asking me for insight. I mean, it hasn't happened before, so that's good. It is good. I mean, this is all good. It shows that there's genuine interest and that folks know, those two particular sports can win in the Western Athletic Conference next season.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like the 3-4 year project down the road. There's a lot of talent on our women's soccer program. There's a lot of talent on our women's volleyball program. These are not rebuilding jobs, so to speak. These are basically jobs that the infrastructure is in place to be successful. And so I think that reflects, again, somebody of the quality coming in and trying to take over those programs. You saw the quality candidate we got in men's soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a testament to the guy that we're going to honor on Thursday, Simon Tobin, and what he was able to create for his 20-plus years on the job. But, being able to bring in a Conference USA twice, Coach of the Year, somebody with over 130-plus wins, has a 600 winning percentage in Division I men's soccer. That wouldn't have happened a few years ago either. So I think that the quality of candidate is now a reflection of where we are in our athletic department, and where we are is a forward-moving train, and we are on the ascent.
And like my response to the email was, why are you emailing me? I'm a ham and egger. I have no pull whatsoever. You might want to try emailing up the ladder. That's what I said.
It's always food with you. Ham and eggs.
Ham and eggs, whatever. Green eggs and ham, whatever it might be. Real quick, thoughts on baseball season opened up, and team right now 5-3, and Gabe went away on Sunday a little bit. We'll talk to the baseball coaches about that coming up, but still a pretty good, pretty good start.
You can't throw the ball around in the ninth inning when you have 2 strikes and the bases loaded. You got to focus on the hitter.
Yeah, you do. You have to get the guy out of the plate. Yeah, but I mean, a pretty good start for them. 5-3.
Sure. It's gonna. And I talked to Coach a little bit about this, but it's gonna be one of those situations where the team is gonna have to gel, and they're gonna have to find their way.
Yeah.
We might experience some early growing pains, but there's definitely talent on that team, and the pitching so far has shown what Coach Kernan teams are about.
Yeah, how about the freshmen on Saturday? I mean, Stephen G. and company, those guys coming in and just shutting Towson down.
Well, it's amazing what you do when you keep the ball down.
Yeah.
I mean, the trick to college baseball is pretty much, keep the ball down and make them put it in play. And we have a pretty solid defense. And Sacramento State, we kind of earmarked them as maybe a possible favorite in the Western Athletic Conference. I know we were picked first and stuff, but with what they had returning and them going out beating A&M, Texas A&M, nationally ranked program. The Western Athletic Conference has had some really good results so far. And so in terms of a baseball conference or league, it's going to be quite the battle, and we're looking forward to it.
And more baseball this weekend. UC Riverside in town, a Big West school, and always a good series there. And they're saying there might be rain. I don't know how we can say there might be rain, but I guess these things do move in fairly quickly, I guess. But a beautiful day today, and they're saying maybe rain, but it's Bakersfield. It never rains.
It is amazing to me how much Jay-Z looks like Brandon Barnes.
Yeah, it is true. We might have to hold that up at break and do a little comparison. All right, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
All right,
and
thanks, Corey.
We'll see
Great
you this
job.
weekend on a busy weekend for sure.
Absolutely. Happy homecoming, y'all.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll be right back, folks. When we return, head men's basketball coach Rod Barnes will join us on the program. This is a special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown.
Madness is calling. The 2014 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. March 12th through the 15th at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. 16 teams battle through the brackets on their way to the big dance. Be there to see who will go home the big winner.
All session passes on sale now for $165 by calling 654-BLUE.
Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
Basketball side of the Western Athletic Conference. I mean, we took the same Midwest trip that Utah Valley took this past week. We beat Kansas City, unfortunately lose to Chicago. They beat Chicago and then come out and lose pretty handily to Kansas City. And this is happening all over the conference. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that as a coach?
No, never. I mean, it has been unbelievable what has happened, and I keep telling everyone it's just wacky. I mean, because it's just like you said, we go and play a Kansas City team that I think had lost 4 straight games, and we beat them and kind of control the game.
Yeah.
And Utah Valley plays at Chicago State and beat them pretty handily, and then we go to Chicago State and lose, and they go to UMKC, and the game's not even close. So who knows what's going to happen in Vegas, and we just want to be on the winning end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know a lot of the season it's been kind of geared toward the conference tournament coming up, but obviously right now this time of year we got 3 conference games left, and all these wins are important because everyone's eyeing the standings now to see, okay, who am I going to play in the first round? Where am I at in terms of the bracket? But let's talk about this week because you've got a couple teams coming in that have played tough here recently. Texas Pan Am, which we're actually one of the few teams that's gone down to Pan Am and won, which is great. They're going to be coming in on Thursday night, and that's a team that's got they've got some athletes, and they really play at a fairly up-tempo style.
Well, they do. I mean, they've got they're kind of guard-oriented, not a really big team, but a real athletic and fast team. And, again, we were one of the teams to go down and beat them at their place, and I'm sure they're going to come in here. They've won a few games lately and played pretty well. They're going to come in here and really want to try to gain some revenge on us. And then we play New Mexico State on Saturday, who I think their name speaks for themselves. And now that they're back right in the hunt of winning the league, it's going to be 2 great games this weekend. And, I think our guys are prepared. I think we're, playing pretty well right now, and we're pretty healthy. So we're looking forward to it. It should be a great weekend. And then being homecoming week, obviously you always want to play well on that week, so it's a big weekend for us.
New Mexico State back in first place actually after really being second most of the league, and they're starting to play a little better and they got some healthy pieces back. One of the guys, I'm telling you, just the price of admission is just to come see the largest human being on the face of the earth in New Mexico State's 7'5", 360 Simbular. That is that's the largest man I've ever seen. And your guys got to somehow find a way to guard him. And I mean, he's a tough – how do you even scout a guy like that? I mean, he seems to be just being that big. It just seems so tough.
Well, you just try your best to stay between him and the basket. And obviously, with that kind of size and that kind of weight, it's difficult to do that. And then you try to take advantage of him on the other end. You try to beat him down the floor and hopefully make enough shots to put their team at a disadvantage, and their coach will try to sub him. But he is, as you said, probably the biggest human being. I got a chance to watch Shaq play, and I think he's bigger than Shaq.
Yeah.
And he's a big, skilled guy. He's not a clumsy guy. He's a little slow, but he's not a clumsy guy. He's a good basketball player. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, but we've really scouted this team well, and we think we got a game plan that, take advantage of him just as well as they're going to try to take advantage of us.
Yeah, really, really good game down there at their place. Losing that one by 3, had a couple chances late to win that one. I mean, you got to be pretty confident with the way, and he played in that game. It was his first game back, so you got to feel pretty confident with New Mexico State coming in that you guys can match up and run with them.
Well, we do. I mean, we feel really comfortable where we are. As far as the matchup with them, we feel like we got enough depth. We feel like we've got guys that can shoot the ball and big guys that can move out on the floor and move him around. I mean, because if he stays near the basket, you'll never get a shot off. So we got to try to pull him away from the basket and screen him, which he doesn't move that much. So I don't know how well you could try to screen him with some of the guys we have. But we did a good job up there and was kind of surprised to have him out there, and now we get a chance to play him for him.
And Saturday night as well, senior night. We were talking about this with Jeff Konya in the last segment. You got 6 guys that you're going to be honoring on Saturday night. Not only 6 seniors, but these are 6 young men that have either finished already their undergraduate degree or are very close to, and they'll have it done here by this quarter or at the end of next quarter. All these guys are going to graduate. As a coach, I mean, you're going to see 6 guys leave the program, play the last home game, but you got 6 more graduates. So, I mean, what makes you feel better?
Well, it's a bittersweet kind of situation. Obviously, you're sad because the young men are leaving you, but you're so happy and excited that you've done the job that we've been called to do in the collegiate athletics, and that's to get kids here, help them mature, help them grow, prepare them for their future, and give them an opportunity to have success through getting a degree here. These young men have worked extremely hard. They've stayed with our program. They've done the right things on and off the court. And on Saturday, you're kind of sad because you're seeing them walk away from you in a sense. But then all of a sudden you're so excited because you've opened up opportunities that they would not have been afforded to these young men before.
Absolutely, and some of the 6, including guys like Corey Hall and Matt Ratto, and those are a couple guys that Corey Hall, especially here lately, has been playing more and more, getting him more minutes. Matt Ratto, even the other day at Chicago State, we were struggling from the outside. You put him in, he hits his first 3. I mean, you've got these some of these role-playing seniors as well that have come in and filled roles nicely here, especially lately.
Well, Corey's done a really good job lately. I've been really pleased with the way that he's played both offensively and defensively, and we feel like he's just starting to come around, and we definitely need that at this particular point. And try to get Matt Ratto going because I know to win 3 games there in Vegas, some people are going to play a zone. We struggled with it a little bit the other day, and as we prepare for every game, we're also preparing for the tournament. Mm-hmm. And as I told you earlier, we're going to do some different things in the tournament that we've been doing because we feel, those 3 games are the most important games of the season. So we try to get Matt going, and probably try him again on Thursday, probably try him again on Saturday, and try to get him ready.
Absolutely, and of course Saturday's game starting at 7 o'clock at Rabobank Arena. Thursday against Texas Pan Am as well. A couple other seniors, off the top of my head, Issiah Grayson, a guy who's been your point guard here 2 out of the last 3 years, sitting redshirting last year. I mean, obviously he's been important to this program here in the last couple of years.
Well, he has. He's been our floor general this year. Has had an unbelievable year. He's played well. He's been a model guy for us. He works hard. He's what we want in our program as far as kids being excited about playing this game and grateful for the opportunity, but also trying to do the right things on and off the court. And, you know, he's had a special season on the court, and we just hope that we could get to Vegas and have these seniors where they go out in a special moment, and no special moment in college athletics than to go to the NCAA tournament.
And that's coming up on the WAC tournament, March 12th to the 15th at the Orleans in Las Vegas. You know, you guys have played there. You played in that tournament there last year, and so a couple of guys on the floor have seen that arena. It's got some similarities. What, you know, how do you prepare? What does the mindset change when you go into the conference tournament because it's a one and done type deal? I mean, how does it change as a coach, and do you see that change in the players too?
Well, obviously, it's new life as far as for the team. As a coach, you're playing one and done. I mean, you're not worrying about whether a guy gets too tired. You're not worried about if a guy get nicked on an injury and he's able to come back. You're not worried about rotations of minutes. You're just trying to get to the next game. And again, I think we've got the things, and you're trying not to get caught off guard. You're trying to be prepared for everything. As far as our players, I mean, it's a new life. I mean, you win 3 games. You're on the stage that you've always dreamed and believed that you wanted to be there. And hopefully we'll take that mindset overall as a program and go over there and give it our all, and that's all you can ask for.
What would it mean to you? I mean, as a coach who's been to the NCAA tournament, who's to come back and take this program to that level? I mean, personally, it's got to mean something. But I mean, what would it mean as a professional, as a coach, and then personally to have that opportunity?
Well, it'd be huge. I mean, that's the reason I came here, to get us to the NCAA tournament. And, you know, I knew that there was be a process. Doing it in year number 3, the first year in the WAC, would be unbelievable. I mean, it would probably be the biggest surprise, in a sense, to go to a conference, be there for the first year, and then go to the NCAA tournament. But I think we're prepared. I think we can contend. I think we got a chance to win it, and that would be satisfying, but also, you know, one of those things that you kind of wasn't expecting to happen when you started on the journey, but you got a chance to get there. So it would be huge for our program, for this community, for Bakersfield, you know, for this university. To win and also go on to the NCAA tournament.
It seems like, too, as we think about, you know, looking ahead, and you're losing some pieces in this year's team, but it seems like the extra exposure this year from being in a conference tournament or a conference period has helped you guys on the recruiting level. I mean, there's even players that we haven't really announced yet, but you've got guys. How's that help recruiting us? How's the WAC helped your recruiting sort of profile?
Well, it's been great. I mean, first of all, to give you an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament through an automatic bid, and you know, it's great. And also, you know, to give us a target, people that we're going to play against, places that we're going to play, gives us a recruiting base of who we need to beat and what we need. It also gives our coaches something to focus on, that now we're in a conference and we want to be the best in this league. And kids want to buy into that. In the last couple of years, and obviously before I got here, you didn't have that to sell. Now we have that to sell. Now it's just working extremely hard, and our coaches have done a great job of being on the road and recruiting, and we're seeing the fruit of their hard labor.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this weekend. It's going to be a tough weekend, and we've got a couple more conference games in the conference tournament. We'll definitely check in with you again before we get to that point.
Well, great. Thanks for having me on. And where are my shades?
I didn't get the shades memo. I'm sure we can get some runner glasses. Then we got some in the student union. We can get you hooked up. Don't worry. All right. We'll be right back, folks. When we come back, Issiah Grayson, senior point guard, going to join us next. This is a special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown.
Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
Hey, welcome back into our special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown. We're here in front of the Student Union on this beautiful morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Bakersfield.com, or if you get a little later on GoRunners.com. Thank you so much as we're here because we have a busy week. A lot of great things happening with men's basketball and baseball as well around campus. And so we're here to showcase those. And Saturday night is senior night at Rabobank Arena, 7 o'clock. And the man to my right, your left, is going to be one of those seniors honored. He is the senior point guard, redshirt senior point guard for the Roadrunners, leading scorer Issiah Grayson. IG, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Well, Saturday night, your last home game. It's got to be bittersweet for you. I mean, you hung around an extra year last year, coming off an injury, to come and play this year in the conference. I mean, what are your feelings as you get closer to those last couple home games?
I mean, it came by real quick. You feel me? Like I've been here for like 3 years, and I've worked, and then Bakersfield's treated me good. But I mean, it is sad to see to go, and it hit me on the plane when we was coming back from Chicago that we only had 2 games left. So it is kind of bittersweet, but I'm just more focused on these wins. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have the opportunity, though, too. I mean, although it's your last couple home games, you got the opportunity to extend your season a little bit longer. We'll have, obviously, with the conference tournament. So does that kind of maybe inspire you seniors? I mean, there's 6 of you on the – because I know it hit you as it hit everybody, and everybody thought, okay, now if we want to keep playing, we just got to keep winning.
I mean, it has to. You feel me? Like, we're seniors. This is our last go around in college basketball. I mean, we want to play more. I mean, I would want to play more. So we have to win. We have to win to keep the season going.
Absolutely, and we'll start with Texas Pan Am on Thursday night. And that was the team that you guys went down to their place, and not many people have won down there. It's been a tough spot. You got a victory down there. Talk about them a little bit and the challenges that they possess.
They're a tough team. I mean, they got a nice 3 or 4 man named Shaquille Hines, and he goes pretty hard in the paint. And Texas Pan Am, they jumped out on us early when we went down there, but we got together and we ran offers and we won. So.
And then New Mexico State on Saturday night. That's a team, a couple years ago here, you kind of had one robbed from you. You go to their place this year, and you had a chance to win it, and it kind of didn't go our way. So there's been a couple close calls against this team. Does that make you a little more extra motivated to say, let's finally try to get one against New Mexico State?
I'm happy we scheduled that game on senior night. It's going to test a lot of us. For me, no easy game on senior night. Usually senior night you have a little easy game, but this senior night we're being challenged, and it's really going to help us forward to the WAC tournament.
Absolutely, and talk about their challenges. I mean, we're talking to Coach about Sim Bular, who's the largest man I've ever seen in my life. But there's plenty of good other athletes on that squad. I mean, what kind of challenges as a team facing them do they bring?
Well, we have to stop Mullins. We have to stop him. He's fast in transition, and he gets their team going. But our biggest key is to playing as a team. If we play as a team, we play our defense, and we follow the scouting report, I mean, we're hard to beat. And Bular being down there, being like 7'12" or whatever he is, he's a physical presence in the key. So if we get him running, we should be good.
And it's got to be challenging. I mean, I know there's like a certain zone with him because he's 7'5", and obviously with that arm reach, he's like 9 feet tall. There's like a certain maybe like 14, 15-foot range where you could kind of get the ball over him. But if you got inside of like 13 feet and he was standing in the mid post, you tried to float one over, it was ending up in the seats.
Yeah, you have to pick your shots wisely with him because he's so tall and he's so long that he just contests every shot and he makes every shot tough. So what I try to do is I try to take him off a ball screen and try to go blow by him and create for others because it's hard. He's challenging every shot. He's in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys offensively here lately, I was looking at the numbers. You guys are averaging over 70 points a game, allowing only 68, but yet you're sub 500 in league. But you guys have lost so many games, so many close games, I should say. But you guys keep coming back. You keep coming back. You keep fighting. You keep winning games. You won 3 in a row at one point here recently. 5 out of your last 7. I mean, you guys are right there. And you, what has kept you going despite all these 2- and 3-point losses that you've had in conference play?
Our coaches, man. Our coaches never gave up on us. So when we see that, we just can't give up on ourselves, and we got to want to do it ourselves. And like going through this adversity and losing all these games, it's made us better men. You feel me? Like. Nothing's going to be easy in life, and I'm glad that we're resilient, and we just came every day to practice, and we just been working, and it's paying off. I mean, we lost our last game to Chicago State, but it was a few mental errors that we did, but I like us way better than we was a few few months ago.
And also with those, it has to be reassuring as well when you guys look at what's going on in the WAC and seeing everybody has beaten everybody basically at one point or another. I mean, that's got to also be an extra motivating factor too, knowing going into Las Vegas in a couple weeks that this thing is just, it's going to come down to the team that can win 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, no one is safe. I mean, you got to bring your A game. That's all. No one is safe. I mean, as you can see, nobody's undefeated in our conference. Everybody can be beaten, and everybody can beat you. You feel me? So you have to come. You have to come to play. You have to.
Absolutely. Issiah Grayson, our point guard here on Roadrunner Rundown. You've had a great season scoring the ball, but lately, I mean, you still got. I think there's you're up to 10, 20-point games on the season, which I'm sure is some sort of record. But it seems like lately as well, there's been a little more distribution as more scorers have stepped up, and the guards have been more aggressive as far as penetrating and creating opportunities. Was that just kind of a team-wide initiative, or is that just the fact that other guys are getting going? So you want to feed them.
Other guys are getting going. Like Coach said, whatever hand is hot, we need to keep feeding them. We got to eat off their plate. If it's my night, it's my night. If it's Brandon's night, it's his night. If it's Javante and whoever, etc., whoever's eating that night, we have to eat off their plate. It's the only way we're going to win. And we keep playing as a team, we're going to be good. I mean, when teams key in on me, that's only right that my other players go off. And when they start going off, it's really hard to beat us. So.
How much does it help to have the lately the post presence with Ali? He's had some really solid games as a point guard. When you have a post guy like that who's got that kind of athleticism and those kind of moves, I mean, how much does that open up the offense when Ali's a really tough stop down low?
Well, me and all the other players and coach are confident. Every time we get the ball to Ali, he's gonna make a good play. He's gonna make a good pass, and he's gonna do the right thing. And I'm happy we got him eligible. I really am happy we got him eligible. He's been big for us and getting a couple double-doubles, and he's been playing excellent.
You know, it seems like he's developed. I mean, Coach had talked about the fact he didn't get a preseason. You know, he didn't get an exhibition game. He missed 8 games as the NCAA sorted out his eligibility, so he didn't come eligible until December 5th. So now it seems like, I mean, look at the guy. He's thinner. He's meaner. I mean, his touch around the basket has improved. His rebounding is more tenacious. I mean, have you seen that as a teammate on the floor? All of a sudden, it's almost like a different guy.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I'm glad it came. At the time, it came. But he's been working. Like when he wasn't eligible, he was working out with Big Z, and Shu was getting him right. So he was ready. His name got called. He was ready.
Absolutely. Issiah Grayson, our guest here on Roadrunner Rundown. Another guy who lately, when his name's called, he's been ready is Craig Jones. I mean, he had a big game. Last time against New Mexico State, actually, he had a career high of 13 points. Yeah. and just out of nowhere, his conference debut. Obviously, he's going to probably factor in this weekend against Pan Am and New Mexico State again. But another guy who's been around for a few years, hasn't played much. Coach gives him an opportunity. And, I mean, how nice is it for you to see a guy like that step up and get a chance?
It means a lot to us as players to see him, who doesn't really play that much, confidence was kind of low, to come in a big game like New Mexico State and make an impact. So I was proud of him. I'm not even gonna lie, I was proud of Craig. And when he dunked on Buddy, I'm like, yeah.
I was gonna say that was like my favorite moment. He comes in, he checks into the game, and I'm thinking, what's Coach? You know, what's going on here? Checks in, dunks on one guy. Next possession up the floor, dunks on another guy. Yeah. I'm like, okay, this will work.
What got into Craig? Like, I'm glad it got into him. He's been holding it down, man. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you get closer to the conference tournament and postseason play, which you're familiar with at other schools you're at, but how important is it to have other guys that step up, that not necessarily are the guys averaging double figures, but are those role players that step up and make plays when the chips are down?
It's real important. Like, everybody on the team knows their role, and I think that's what's really helped us too. We're finally understanding that we need to do what we do best. And if you're a rebounder, you go rebound. If you get buckets, you get buckets. If you create for others, you create for others. We're finally starting to do that, and we're clicking. So.
And so far, I mean, it's starting to really go here recently. And so Saturday's senior night, and you will be you actually already have your degree, right? Your undergrad?
Well, yeah, I finished all my prerequisites, so right now I'm just taking a few classes to stay eligible.
Excellent. And what's your current degree in, and what are you looking to do after basketball?
I'll be majoring in liberal studies, and I'm gonna trying to keep on playing basketball after this, and after that, I want to go into coaching.
Excellent. So coaching in the future, and trying to keep playing basketball is a great opportunity as well. I'm sure with the year you've had, you'll have a few opportunities, maybe overseas or something.
Hopefully.
Looking for that too. And then what level when you get to that coaching phase of your career, what level are you? Would you like to coach? High school, college?
Well, you got to start at the bottom sometimes, so I might have to start with some kids.
So junior high,
just to see if I got some coaching in me. And then I eventually want to be up there with the greats, so I want to coach college someday.
And every time that for every hair, since you're the point guard, for every hair that you turn gray on Coach Barnes' head, it's gonna probably come back to you when you coach. You know that, right?
Come right back on me. I know I'd be giving that man fits with. I know I'd be giving him fits.
My favorite, by the way, is if there's pressure and you dribble through it or something, and not necessarily the ball's turned over, but maybe it was close to being a turnover, and coaches, you can tell, and you're just like, it's okay, Coach. I'm okay. I think it drives him nuts when you do that, by the way, on the floor. It's okay. I got it, Coach. It's okay.
I mean, he has to stay on me, man. He has to, because sometimes I'll be out there playing nonchalant, and he always say I get to cruising and coasting, and it's true. So
yeah,
I'm glad he's still on me.
And I mean, Coach Barnes you played for him for 3 years now, basically. I mean, last year redshirting. I mean, how much? Not only Coach Barnes, but this entire coaching staff. I mean, how much are you gonna miss these guys when it's over for you?
I miss him a lot, man, but I'm not trying to worry about that until senior night or whenever that time comes.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, there you go. Sounds good. We're gonna step away and take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little baseball. IG, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend, and we'll be following you all the way through the conference tournament. Hopefully into the NCAA tournament.
I know we're gonna get there. Thank you for having me.
There you go. All right. We're gonna step away, folks. When we come back, we're gonna talk some baseball. Brandon Boren, assistant coach, Richie Escalera, gonna join us on the program as well as we talk about their busy weekend coming up as well. Stick around. It's a special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown.
Madness is calling. The 2014 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. March 12th through the 15th at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. 16 teams battle through the brackets on their way to the big dance. Be there to see who will go home the big winner.
All session passes on sale now for $165 by calling 654-BLUE. Welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown here on location at the Student Union here at CSUB. Thanks so much for joining us as we've had a great show so far. A lot of stuff going on this week, and we wanted to talk about it on the program. Basketball, my thanks to head coach Rod Barnes, Issiah Grayson for joining us, also our athletic director Jeff Konya, and our marketing coordinator Brynn Conapitski for joining us as well. Talk about everything happening this week, and baseball is happening this week as well. They got a busy week. They're actually going to start Wednesday playing up at Fresno State in the first of 2 meetings with the Bulldogs this year, and then they'll be back here starting Friday, taking on UC Riverside Friday at 6, Saturday at 2, Sunday at 1. And joining us on the program now, he is an assistant coach. He is a former Roadrunner himself. Welcome to the program, Brandon Boren. Brandon, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're here in the sun for the second day in a row. Yesterday we were out golfing for the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund golf tournament. Brandon, by the way, from what I hear, is a very good golfer, much better than me.
I had a decent day.
Yeah.
Decent day. I wouldn't call myself a good golfer. I don't play enough to be a good golfer, but I had a pretty good day yesterday.
Yeah, pretty good day. And I didn't have a great day, but I know I played better than Joe Flores back here and his team. So I saw the score. I was pumped. I beat Joe and Marcus.
You know what pretty much summed up my day was that closest to the pin, I put one within about 4 feet, and I was pumped up to go write my score down. And I saw Vance Palm ace, and that pretty much summed up my day.
Yes, former Roadrunner basketball player and sometimes TV commentator Vance Palm. Hole-in-one at the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund tournament. That's awesome, though. Hey, if you're going to win the hole-in-one contest,
that's awesome.
Close to the pin contest, just put it right in. And he won a putter for winning the
Didn't even have to use it.
We didn't even have to use it, which there you go. But Brandon Boren now in his second year now as an assistant coach?
Assistant, yes.
Yes, and what's it been like for you? You were here first teams in 2009 age, and here you are a couple years later as a coach. What's it been like kind of making that transition and coming back as a coach now?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to come back as a coach as soon as I was done playing because the growth that we had from year 1 to year 2 when I played here was incredible. So I knew that this was something I wanted to be a part of as a coach, and that growth has just continued to the program it's in today. So.
And I mean, obviously it's important for Coach Kernan has a certain style,
Absolutely.
right? And he has a certain mold that he wants his guys to fit into, from pitchers to catchers to position players. He's got that, and he's got a certain attitude. So how much does it help him to have guys like you and Richie Escalera, who unfortunately couldn't make it today? He had a flat tire. He was supposed to be here too. Former player as well, turned coach. I mean, how important is that to have you guys as coaches that we're also fitting his mold and now trying to pass it on to?
Yeah, I think the advantage of that is you kind of have good cop, bad cop going on with coaches, and that Kernan is very intimidating, and he could be the bad cop at times. So.
Yeah.
Richie and I are the ones that kind of go to players and go, hey, here's what he really means in kind of simpler terms, nicer terms. So they're not, especially the freshmen, aren't so intimidated by it, and we can kind of relate to players a little bit better.
Yeah, there you go. You guys out to a pretty good start. 5-3 on the year. A couple close losses as well in those 3 losses. But give me your assessment just so far on where this team's at early on.
Well, the first 2 weekends when you get a series sweep and then a win of a series at home 2-1, you can't really complain. But I think the issue with our team, especially in the close losses, is we have those mistakes kind of at inopportune times. And I think what guys are learning the hard way is that there's really no opportune time for a mistake. It could be a drop pop-up on the first batter of the game that comes around the score and we lose by 1, or a double play ball in the 3rd inning that doesn't get turned. It turns into a 3-run home run and we lose. At this level, teams are going to be good enough to capitalize on every mistake you make, and that could cost you a ball game. So we're kind of waiting to see how guys react to that and kind of tighten that up as far as not making those mistakes. But overall, I think we're playing pretty well. The defense has been good. Hitting has been good at times. We just haven't really put together a solid ball game yet with all 3 components, hitting, pitching, and defense, and we're kind of waiting for that to happen.
And you unfortunately learned the lesson of don't try to pick somebody out with a base loaded
Absolutely.
at the top
on
of the 9th
on a
inning.
2-2 count on a tied game, yeah. Those are just the growing pains. Now we kind of have to see how guys react to it. Yeah.
Guarantee you it's not going to happen again.
No,
all right?
not.
That will not happen again. But you take 2 out of 3 from Towson. You swept the opening weekend series. You played pretty well against the Big West schools. Those Irvines and Santa Barbara teams, which are very good. So you were right there, especially being midweek early on. So you got to be optimistic about what this team can do this season.
We are, and especially, this freshman class, I think, especially has been a great surprise with Max Carter, a walk-on kid from Stockdale who's turned into our closer. Yeah. Basically, David Metzger at second base, who's been a surprise, and I think we've had guys step up, and Oscar's been able to play short. We get Miles Jones back, who I think is going to solidify our defense in the infield, and he'll be a top-of-the-lineup guy, and his bat's going to come around. So we are very optimistic, especially getting into conference play as to what we can accomplish if we put all those things together.
Also looking at speaking of the freshmen, Saturday you guys had a great freshman pitching performance. Yep. I think everybody, anytime you put a freshman out there, you wonder this could go one of 2 ways. This could go in the catcher's glove, or it could be a Kit Fox habitat ball. You never know. But you guys, Saturday's game, the freshman seemed to just blow everybody away.
He did, and his stuff was decent. He had a fastball that was low 80s, and his off-speed pitches didn't have great command of them. But the thing he did was his fastball was at the knees all night long. And we tell our pitchers all the time, with as good as our defense is, all you have to do is play catch with the catcher, put a fastball at the knees, and let him hit it, and we'll make plays. And we did that all night. There were a couple balls that hit hard, but right at our defense that made plays for him, and he gave up 2 hits. Yeah. Letting the guys put the ball in play all night. So that's kind of what pitchers need to do. Just let them put the ball in play, let our defense play, and we'll win ball games.
Absolutely, and that's definitely a nice thing to see that you're getting the freshmen to contribute. And I've noticed as well, you brought up David Metzger, who's another guy from the Antelope Valley. There is like this pipeline now. We've got this Antelope Valley small school pipeline between David Metzger, you got Miles Jones, and also Malik Jones, both coming from Paraclete High School. Metzger from he was Paraclete, right?
Paraclete as well.
Then you got Desert Christian and Chance Guspeth. You have Desert Christian and Taylor Aikenhead. You had Desert Christian and Tyler Shryock, who was drafted by the White Sox. Is that Coach Kernan's new hot spot? Is that his well-kept secret?
It might be. I think it started with Tyler Shryock, right? And his dad is a coach out there, so he's kind of the one that still talks to Coach Kernan about guys out there. Said, hey, this is a guy you need to look at. This is a guy you need to look at, and that's kind of how we got Miles and Malik and David Metzger. So that's a pipeline we do take advantage of.
Absolutely, and I'm sure. And Tyler had nothing but great experiences here as a player, so I'm sure it helps. So hopefully, don't even try to get into that pipeline. That's ours. All right, we've got that one. We've got that one locked down, the desert. But I think also you get the small school kids that necessarily go to a small private school, in a place like the Antelope Valley. They might not getting a lot of Division I baseball attention, but they can play, and they kind of have that chip on their shoulder, which is exactly what Coach Kernan is always looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And the other interesting thing is guys that came from Desert Christian, you kind of wonder how they're going to be because they're a team that blows out their competition. I remember Taylor Aiken had told me they beat teams 25-0 in 3 innings. They end the game. So, you're wondering, like, they've never seen that competition. How are they going to be at Division I? And all the guys we've gotten have been great competitors and have done really well.
Absolutely. Now, this early in the season, have there been a couple guys that have stood out to you as far as just the performance, and you're saying, hey, he's at maybe a higher level than we maybe anticipated at this point of the year?
Yeah, a couple guys, freshmen mainly. I already mentioned 2, Max Carter and David Metzger, and then Malik when Miles was suspended. He was a guy that we threw at third base, and kind of the same thing that happened with Miles last year. We don't know how it's going to be. Just go out there and do your best. And he did nothing but make plays and put together quality at-bats, laid down sack bunts, caught a few hits. So he's going to be a guy who's going to be a very quality player for us in the future. And then on the mound, Alec Daly, I think, is a guy who's kind of surprised us as a freshman who hasn't pitched much, has a live arm, and he's come in and done really well. So the freshman class as a whole, I think we've been really excited about.
How tough? I mean, the good, of all the issues with not having Miles for those first few games, but then it almost, now all of a sudden you guys have an infield traffic jam because you have so many guys that played well in the infield. Now you've got an infield traffic jam. I guess it's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, yeah. It's a great problem to have. And Oscar's done a great job bouncing the short. That's was our idea in the fall, and we weren't really sure if it was going to work out. We had, with those 3 guys we have on the infield right now, we kind of had 3 different infields planned out for them, but this is the one that's kind of solidified itself as our best, so that's a good problem to have.
I know the first weekend series didn't see a lot of Garrett Pierce. He comes back in the Towson series, has a big weekend, and he delivers a game winner on Friday as well. And your outfield seems to be kind of crowded now too, but it seems like last year it was who wants to play right field. We had that revolving door of right fielders. It just seemed like anyone who wanted to play right field could try it. It just wasn't, no one was slowly stepped up. It seems like this year you've got guys that are really taking ownership of their positions in the outfield.
Yeah, Chance Guspeth has established himself as our right fielder. I mean, he's kind of turned into the player that we expected him to be coming in here. Jordy, kind of unfortunate, he was just coming into his own. He was just starting to get hot, and he sprained his ankle on the third base bag, but we think he'll be okay. He'll probably play tomorrow night. And then, Garrett Pierce has started out on fire. He did the same thing last year. I think he had 3 or 4 multi-hit games in a row. And then I'm not sure what he did Sunday. I think he at least had 1 hit, but he's had a great approach at the plate. He's been one of our most consistent hitters, so they've kind of solidified themselves as our outfield.
I know you guys talk so much about pitching and defense. Give me your thoughts on the offense of the first few games. I mean, it seems like for the most part, scoring runs has not been a huge issue.
Not been a huge issue, but it's been inconsistent in that we've had opportunities. The 8th inning comes to mind of the game on Sunday where we have bases loaded, 1 out, and then we punch out twice looking. Things like that where we need to get a little more aggressive in situations and know that, when we get a pitch, we need to hit it and not just look at it and try to be patient and take walks in that situation. We need to be a little more aggressive at times. But overall, it's been pretty good. We scored a lot of runs. We've had a lot of stuff given to us by Towson on Saturday when we scored 8 runs. But we've been scoring pretty consistently. We've had games, the 2 midweek games, we hit balls hard all day and just right at guys. So we've had a good approach so far in the season, and we need to keep that rolling, and we need to be more aggressive at times and score more runs.
Finally, this week you've got quite a few. You got 4 games total. You're going to start tomorrow at Fresno State. Talk about playing Fresno State, and then also this weekend's games against Riverside.
Fresno State, obviously, that's the one that's kind of near and dear to us because we played them, I think, 7 times a year.
Last year, and then last year a bunch too.
Yeah,
6.
But my first 2 years here, we played them all the time, and that's a kind of a program that you kind of develop a relationship. You get to know those guys pretty well, and it's just a great place to go and play at Biden Field. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great rivalry that we've kind of, I remember those first years they kind of owned us, but now the tables have kind of turned, and we're kind of taking it to them a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. They're going to be better this year. For sure. So it's always a good game. And then Riverside this weekend, again, always a tough matchup. They kind of owned us when I played here. Yeah. They always have arms. Friday, Saturday are going to be tough. So going to be – and that team might mirror us, kind of the same style. So it should be a really good series.
And then let's look at the conference coming up. I mean, a couple – it's almost – shifted a little bit as far as there's only a couple familiar faces in Seattle and Sacramento State, New Mexico State. Other than that, it's almost a completely new ball game when it comes to the conference. So a lot of questions out there for you guys too when you get ready to play some of these teams.
Yeah, you don't know really what you're going to get. Sacramento State has kind of established themselves as that team that's going to be the team to beat, and we know what we're going to get with them in New Mexico State and Seattle, as you said. But the other ones is kind of just feel your way out as we go. If we play our game, we should do pretty well in this conference.
And a pretty good scheduling deal. I mean, you get the 2 of the other top teams, Sacramento State and New Mexico State, here.
At home.
Which is great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, scheduling kind of worked out. Especially, even those long travel series, they kind of come to our place this year, so that's good.
We'll take it. Sounds good. Brandon, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck this week, and we'll be along with you for the ride this week, and we'll check in again with you soon.
Appreciate it, Corey. Thanks for having me.
All right, Brandon Boren, assistant coach here on Roadrunner Rundown. Hey, thanks so much for joining us in this special on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown. We will we've got, again, baseball Wednesday at Fresno State, but then it starts at home Thursday, men's basketball at Rabobank Arena, Friday baseball at home, 6 o'clock against Riverside, Saturday basketball at home as well. So join us then, folks. We'll catch you next time. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.